Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 Polestar 2 Single Motor Plus. Now, I've never been so confused whether a vehicle has been on or off, more than this one, but I think I figured it out. Let's get started. We get started in the front and we can see this thing is pretty nice. It's got a lot of that real old school Volvo feel to it, very squared. You'll see what I mean, especially when we get kind of to the side profile. But this is Polestar and it looks really nice. There's a lot of great little Easter eggs in this too. So the first thing is this white color. It is really, really nice. I love the metallic look that it has to it. In darker shades, you'll see a little bit more of a gray tone. When the sun is hitting it, you'll definitely see a little bit more of the brighter white side to it. But I really like it. Very simple, very clean. As much as I could have kept it clean, we've had crazy rain, but it is a really nice design. We get to the headlights, and the headlights are what they call the pixel LED headlights, and these things are nice. I really like their design. We do have some movement in the headlight here when you kind of lock and unlock the car, so it is really nice to have that there when you're driving. They were super clear, nice cutoff with the beam pattern. The only thing is, it seemed when we had some rainy days, it just didn't seem like it could cut through the rain. That was the only kind of confusion, because when we did have it on days that it didn't rain and it was super dark out, no street lights, it just cut through with no issue. So yeah, just a little confused as to why it was struggling in the rain. We also have the nice little fog light down here, and we take a look at the grille. The grille is nice. Again, it's EV, so it doesn't need super big cooling system or openings here for the grille and radiators and that kind of stuff, but you do still have some openings in here for that. Now, I mentioned Easter eggs because we do have a front-facing camera, and it says mid-range radar. So it's kind of cool that, gosh, this car has been so, how can I say, surgical is really precise, medical, surgical. Yes, it just has been that, and those little quirks like that are just kind of add to that feel of it. So having that lettering there is a really nice touch. But overall, though, the front end is really nice. I love the lower lip that we have down here. It's just really nice front design. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this hood is nicely sculpted. It's got a nice little mean dip to it on the sides. So let's go ahead and see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood, and yeah, we have a frunk, and we have no access or look at the drivetrain. So a couple of things on the left hand side here, we will have for your windshield washer fluid fill. So nice to have that there. And then we have kind of these two compartments. On the left hand side, we have a Polestar tire repair kit, and on the right hand side we have the charger that it comes with. Now, we've just been using our auto charger, which has worked fine, no issues, no complaints, no weird connectivity issues or anything like that. So good to hear and good to see. And up here we have a small scissor jack, but yeah, that's kind of what we have in the front. Now, if we could really see what is powering this, we would see that this has a 220 kilowatt electric single motor, because this is a single motor configuration, and that is powering 299 horsepower and delivering 361 pound-feet of torque. It does have an 82 kilowatt hour battery in a 27 module configuration. Let me tell you this, the power delivery has been pretty smooth with this, has really no complaints. The drivability is really there, so it doesn't have like your typical EV that just has an insane amount of torque that sometimes you have to be so cautious of the throttle. Not with this. It's been pretty good at delivering the power in a nice smooth way. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have this really nice 19-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 245/45 Michelin Primacy all-season tire. Now, a couple of things with this. As far as the design, yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of your typical EV, very flat-faced, which I do like that typical design. We do have kind of the more polished outer face with the colored inserts in there. it's not a bad looking wheel. Would I have liked a little bit more? Yeah, but for what this car is, again, that precision, that very super clean, this works. And yeah, it looks really nice. The tires have been great, super quiet, because I've driven this thing without, without any music going on, and it's just super smooth as far as feeling the road. The noise is, like I said, almost non-existent. The traction is there. There's not too much power, and Polestar does a great way of managing, making sure you don't break traction, is what I'll say. But yeah, overall, this wheel and tire has been great. The suspension in this has been incredible. It's not soft. It is very sports car-like. And for this being an EV, which are typically heavier, typically have like no feeling, this has been the complete opposite. This has been a ton of feedback. And if you don't like sports car feedback, this may not be for you. Yeah, I'll literally tell you, you could stop watching this and go to another vehicle, because it is a little bit on the stiffer side. So be aware of that. But guess what? It is the most rewarding sports suspension or sports feel suspension that I've driven in a while. It is really, really good. I love it. My wife didn't complain about it. So that says a lot, because typically, she prefers smoother, more comfortable rides. So the fact that we were, like I said, the chassis and the suspension, it's dialed in for go. It really is. So I do love this. In fact, this is what kind of sold me on. This is really, really incredible car. It's just so precise at giving you what's on the road. Yeah, I love it. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side and we can see this thing looks really, really nice. Now, I'm always a big fan of kind of roadster proportions and a big fan of like hatchback proportions. It's like those two were married together, and we get a fastback design. Yeah, that's what this is. So the Polestar 2 does label itself as a fastback, and it looks really, really good. Let's kind of talk about the proportions. So we have a good amount of nose up front. We have a good amount of kind of middle area, I would say. And we kind of have a shrunken back, which is really nice. Now, don't worry though, we still have a good amount of trunk area. So we'll take a look at that. But this line right here just looks so incredible, and the way it just kind of kicks out. I kind of almost want to say it needs a small spoiler back there, but then to, give you a nice little side profile. But then it's kind of one of those, do we want to mess up clean? Do we want to mess up perfection? and that's kind of what I get with this. So let's take a look at the front though. We have those big, nice 19-inch wheels, which we can see fill the wheel well really nice. The lights stick out a little bit on there on the side. We do have kind of this textured plastic over fender, or the little lip on the fender there, which is nice. It kind of follows underneath and over to the rear. And again, this white, this metallic white looks really nice. I love the color to it, the look to it. It shines really nice in the light. And like I said, it has a nice toned down look to it when it's in shade or at night. Now, the other cool thing about this is, again, we get those kind of little Easter eggs. We have the name of the car, the Polestar here. We do have the capacity of the battery, as well as the power of the battery. So it's telling you that it's 82 kilowatt hour battery, and we have 220 kilowatt of power. Now, I don't know if I want to put my business out there like that, because then when you do get the bigger and better drivetrains, yeah, they're kind of almost like, hey, I don't have as much power as the other guy. Yeah, but it's nice. It's a nice little touch to it. Cool little clean font to it. We have the black framing around the windows, which are my favorite. And again, with this white contrast, looks really nice. And this line that just kind of follows from the front all the way to the back just looks really, really good. Kind of sets the shape to the car. And we have this nice little mirror here, nice design. It is a little bit on the smaller side, so I will tell you that. Just be aware, I was struggling a little bit to kind of, make sure that I can cover my blind spot. So it is a little bit on the smaller side. Maybe for aerodynamics purposes, they left it this small. Proportionally, I think it does look a little bit on the smaller side. I wouldn't have mind sacrificing maybe a mile or two, or three, however many a bigger mirror would have given me, to make sure that I can see better on my blind side. Now, let's take a look at the entry. So I do have the key fob in my pocket, and I go ahead and put my hand on it, and it unlocks, and I can go ahead and open, and I'm good to go. I can go ahead and close here and lock there, and now I can go ahead and put my hand back here, and it does unlock. So I have that there, so your kiddos, your extra friends and family members can go there, and now I can lock there, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and head to the back and see what we have back there. We get to the back, and this thing is just really nice. So we have that line coming from the roof back to the rear glass, and then to the trunk lid area. And like I said, I really like this kind of fastback look to it. Couple of things though. So this window, it's not very big, so your visibility is going to be a little bit on the limited side when you're trying to look back. The other thing as well is there is no wiper for the rear, and the defroster probably wasn't the best. It took a while for this to clear up this morning while I was driving here. So just be aware that that may happen, especially if you're in icier conditions and you're needing to kind of go as quickly as possible. Just be aware it takes a little bit to get that defrosted. But yeah, this design line here, just that little deck, just that little lift right there is incredible. I love the way that that looks. We have the Polestar sign back here, or the logo. We have these taillights. The taillights on this are just incredible. The way that they kind of wrap around, connect, and they just look really nice. Let me go ahead and unlock, because they do have a really cool animation to them that I love. So you'll kind of see the corners, and then the red just kind of fills in and around on that. But yeah, this light looks really cool. Now, to open up the trunk, I wish I could press the button and it would do that, but yeah, it's kind of hidden back down here to get that open. You can also obviously open it with the key fob, and you have an opening. And again, with it being a fastback design, it does take the rear glass with it to open up the trunk area. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what we have back here. We take a look at the trunk area, and there is a ton of space back here. It was surprisingly large for such a small car. But yeah, there's a lot of cool little kind of tricks to this. So first, yeah, obviously there's a ton of space. You can see my big bag, you can see my smaller bag there. You also have a kind of put through there, so you can take that off, and if you have skis, you can kind of run them through the middle there. So nice little thing. You can also put the seats down. So we do have a split right here for one, and then for the second, for the 1 and 2 on the side there. So nice, yeah, typical things. Yeah, we have a nice little area here for additional storage with a nice little net. We have another kind of tie down here. So yeah, that stuff. The cool stuff, well, actually, one more boring thing. So we do have an even larger capacity right down there. So if you want to kind of put things away. The cool thing, yeah. So you kind of lift this up, and it kind of gives you a barrier there, which is nice. It's nice in case you have something that's a little bit more fragile and you don't want it to move around over there. And obviously this board goes up there, and it's kind of locked. It gives you a snapping lock kind of thing. We do have some hooks here, which is nice. But then we also have some tie downs here. And yeah, let's just say I made a beer run and thought, okay, cool, I don't want my beer moving around. So I kind of put it here. I put the tie on there, and it was good to go. Yeah, that was pretty smart. I kind of like that. And now I'm kind of going to judge every single vehicle that doesn't have one of those, because I feel like it definitely is a nice little helpful, feature to have for your cargo area. But yeah, that's kind of what we have in the back. We go ahead and get inside of the Polestar 2, and this thing is super precise, super clean. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on talking about the little things in here. We take a look at the door, and this thing is really nice. Even though it looks super simple, it's very minimalistic in design, but the finishes are just so great. They really are. So there is no leather in this. So this is their advanced weave tech option that we get here, and we'll see in the seats as well. But the finishes to this is just incredible. Yeah, and everything just looks super nice, super precise in the finish, how things are made, the stitching. You could look at every single stitch and know that everything is perfectly lined, perfectly the same size. It's just incredible, the finishes to this. And we do get the Harman Kardon system with this, which sounds amazing. We do get a little bit of storage, not too much. We do have your memory options there. We have your child lock, which has been great to have here, because when we park, I can turn it off and he can open the door. When we're on the go, we can go ahead and just turn it on and it will lock the child rear doors. So nice to have that there. But overall though, this door just looks really, really nice. With this having the plus pack, we do get these beautiful seats with the advanced weave tech material. It's not leather, it's kind of like neoprene cloth kind of feel to it. It just looks really, really nice. It feels really, really nice. And when you're sitting in it, it just feels spectacular. I haven't had a seat where I don't feel like I am sitting down. It's so weird to explain. It's just something you have to experience. You kind of feel like you're floating, but not in a super plush way, but in a super precise way, where it feels like it was just contoured to my body. And we have the adjustability right in here, which was super simple. I didn't really need much because the shape to this is just so spectacular that my body just fell right into it. It's just something I can't describe. You have to feel it. So go to a local dealership and just sit in one and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just spectacular. Now we get inside of the Polestar and yeah, we get inside of the Polestar and it's already on. Yeah, that's kind of what I was telling you guys, where I didn't know if this was on or off. I couldn't find any button to turn things on or off. It's just on. And two things are your keys. That is the key itself and your butt. So if you're sitting in the seat, it will turn on. Now you do have still the option, which we'll kind of just jump a little bit more on the situations here, if I can remember where to see them. Yeah, you see, I forget this stuff. Okay, there we go. So little car, more, and power off vehicle. And you can tell it to keep it on, or if your butt is off of it, or you can just turn it off right now. But we'll keep the vehicle on. So we have that. And we'll switch back to music and have that playing. So yeah, we'll get to that. Let's take a look at the steering wheel, which I can tell you has been really great feel to it. The finishes are really there. I kind of wish the stitching were different color, but based on how everything else is colored, yeah, the same color black is perfectly fine. But the shape of it is really cool. I love the square airbag area, or the horn, the blacked out Polestar. That was super cool. So I do love this. So I'm kind of wondering if you have a black one, if you get the white badging or black, I'd have to see, but that looks super cool. I love the way that this looks. And yeah, ergonomically it's nice. No complaints there. The buttons, we have your cruise control options here on the left hand side, and we have your infotainment controls here and your gauge cluster control. Now this has been my favorite because when you're holding this, it's such a big button that I didn't have to kind of do this. I could have just literally done that, and you can see it just goes to the next track. So has been really kind of one of my favorite things because the button is so big. And I love that it's not touch, so you don't accidentally activate it. You have to really dedicate and push to it. Now let's talk about the kind of bland thing of this, and that is the gauge cluster. And I say it's bland because I kind of wish there was more to it, but there really isn't. it's just very simple. Literally, it has two settings. You get the what's called the calm setting, which is what this is. So I'll go ahead and put it in drive. This is the, yes, I know I don't have my seatbelt on. So this is the calm, and this is the navigation view. That's it. That's it. You don't have customizability with this screen, which I wish you did, because it just looks so sharp. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the gauge cluster. Again, a little lackluster. I wish it had a lot more to this, but that's kind of what you get. Moving over to the infotainment screen, and it is nice and big. No complaints with the size. The content is what's kind of okay. I wish there was definitely a lot more to this than just kind of what it already has. It's not really exciting. So a couple of things. The top menu, we do have your 360-degree camera system, which is nice to have. Kind of sucks that when you are able to touch that and just kind of see the front. You're able to go back to 360, kind of see your different options there. So that is cool, right? Except that I'll go ahead and leave it in 360, and we'll take a look at our options. And that's really it. Wheel guidelines and then the parking assist. So we'll go ahead and just go back to our music, and I'll put it in reverse, and that's it. You can't get the 360-degree view unless you do that. But I kind of want to see both. I want to be able to see my rear view and my top view. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong, if you guys are Polestar 2 owners, or if this is in a package that this more, I guess, entry-level model trim has. So yeah, that was kind of a letdown with that. I wish it had both the 360-degree system and the rear, because it does obviously split it there. So that's for that. Then we get this, and let me give you guys my drive settings. My drive settings, steering feel, you want it firm. It feels really nice and firm. One pedal drive, don't put it on off. Use the one pedal drive, because one pedal off feels too, you let off the gas, it doesn't feel natural to a typical engine braking that you would get in a normal gas powered car when you let off the gas, and obviously transmission and that stuff is going to start slowing down that vehicle. Just nature, resistance kind of thing. Low does that to probably the best I've ever had in an EV. So one pedal drive, leaving it on low is great. Standard is a little too aggressive. You're needing to kind of really keep your constant foot on it, or else if you lift off a little bit, it's a little too aggressive. Keep it on low. 100% the best kind of setting that I've dealt with ever with a vehicle like this. The next thing I want to talk about is creep. What basically creep is if I put it on off and I go ahead and I have it in drive and I let off the brake, it's not going to move. So it's going to kind of essentially use your brake on there, and it will not move forward. So it doesn't work like a typical gas powered engine car where, you know, you let off the brake and it starts to move a little bit. That's what creep is going to do. So we'll go ahead and turn that on, and once it's on, we'll go ahead and move it to drive, and once we do that, it starts to move. Yeah, you can see it starts to creep up a little bit, and that's essentially what creep is. Overall, though, those are pretty much the settings you get with it. You have the more option, which kind of lets you customize how your vehicle acts. We have all these different buttons here. We get the, you know, we have YouTube, maps, different things there, performance. You don't get much. I'm thinking that performance in maybe the other models gives you more. I'm not 100% sure. This is kind of more of the base model, so this is all you kind of get with performance. And then we have the air quality. Air quality has been awesome to have, and as you can probably hear, my voice isn't the best because there's a lot of pollen and pollutants outside. So, you know, filming outside has, you know, exposed me to that, but thankfully inside though, we're good. And let me tell you, this thing works because the air in here feels so much lighter, as weird as that sounds, and so fresh. So it's been nice to just be in here waiting for things. So yeah, I love the fact that we have that and are able to see that there. Now, one thing I really, really want to rant about is Apple CarPlay. Yeah, we need to use a USB connection in order to use Apple CarPlay, which should not be. Should not be, because this is all about being clean, very precise, very surgical, vehicle. And we shouldn't have to have a cable for Apple CarPlay. Give it to us wirelessly. So yeah, I've been using my Bluetooth function on my phone to be able to get the music on there. But the reason why it's a super, I'm going to rant about this, is because it's all about, this vehicle is all about, again, like I mentioned, those clean things. And we have down here a wireless charger, which is nice because now I can go ahead and place my phone there and it will start to charge. It's been great at charging it too, so no complaints with that. And the reason I'm kind of having my rant about this is because, yeah, we do have that wireless charger there, which is nice. But if you're wanting to use Apple CarPlay, you're needing to use these USB-C connections that we have here. The problem with that is now I have to run a cable that goes from here to here, and we have a cable because I can't run this like this because of the fact that the cable is going to extend out too much because of the size of my phone. So yeah, bad design. Bad design. Why didn't we just have wireless Apple CarPlay and I have to have it connected? Yeah, so that's kind of a shame that we have to resort to that USB-C cable. We come back a little bit more though, and we do have the nice volume knob, which has had a really nice click to it. I love the feel to it. And you can also just literally press down on the middle button, and that's going to give you your pause and start for the music. And then we have the defrost options there. We get over to the shifter, and my wife and kid were saying that looks like a coffin, and I see it now. I see how it kind of looks like the shape of a coffin. It is nice. It's nice and subtle. So literally, you get in the car, it senses your butt, you put your foot on the brake, and you push it back, and you're in drive. That's it. That's all you got to do. Or if you want to go in reverse, you pull it all the way forward, and neutral just a little bit. You'll kind of have the feel to it. You can see how it kind of has a two-stage kind of thing. And then when you're done, you just put park, and you get your butt off the chair, and you're set. That's it. The car's off. You lock it, you're done. So yeah, it's been nice. No complaints there. I wish I can kind of rest it a little bit more, but I'm just kind of afraid of putting too much pressure on it. So typically my armrest has been here. So just kind of on that blade, so to speak, of that design. We come back to the cup holder, and here with the cup holder, we do have one that's visible. In here, it's been fine as far as that. The only thing is, yeah, it just kind of gets in the way of, you wanting to rest your arm there. And speaking about armrests, yeah, that's kind of what we get here. And it's been okay. If you don't have a drink, it's perfect. If you have a drink, you're going to be having a difficult time. But you open up, and we get that second cup holder. So we get a second cup holder here, and that kind of blocks your rear area there, so just be aware. Or you can just kind of have it up a little bit, but now it's kind of a nuisance. Yeah, it's not very good design. So I wish cup holders were a little bit better designed, but you get that. Let me go ahead and put that there and close that off. But the finish is nice. Love the feel to it. And that's that. Let's go ahead and head to the back. You get in the back, and you can see the back door has very similar design. You have the Harman Kardon speaker there, those nice finishes that we had in the back. But yeah, overall though, it's a nice look, nice feel to it. We get to the actual back seat, and I can tell you it is a little bit on the smaller side, so just be aware that my little guy, when he was back here, was struggling a little bit to with his leg room, especially with my wife needing to kind of put her seat back a little bit so that she has leg room. So make sure that you don't get this for really tall passengers. And then we also have the, what my kid calls the secret compartment cup holders, which are nice to have back here for your rear passengers. Probably better ergonomically than the front ones, because again, we have that cover that kind of comes back from the armrest. Nice little AC vents back there. And we also have heated seats for the sides of the rear, and we have USB charging right down there. But yeah, overall though, it is a nice feel to the material as well. Just again, we don't have that much leg room or area in the back here. Now, one thing I do want to mention is this has this kind of like glass roof, which looks really cool, really nice. Surprisingly, hasn't been super hot with the fact that I don't think we can make it kind of like darker or anything like that. So it's super sunny right now. And yeah, the other cool thing is, not sure if you could see it, but it does project the Polestar logo right up there. Kiddo said that looked like for sunglasses, but you definitely don't want to put sunglasses here. It's just for the projection right up there. But yeah, that has been really nice to have there. And at night, it looks really, really nice. So let's go ahead and go for a drive. So we're inside, we're gonna go ahead and go for a drive. One thing I forgot to mention is just those little quirks that are just fun in this car. And that is the turn signal. There is a unique sound to it. Let's see if we can hear it. Yeah, it's gotta kind of have a popping sound to it. It's kind of cool. It's unique. It definitely is. So first thing first, we get in, and like I said, it's not that I sit in the seat sits to you. Yeah, I feel so comfortable. My whole spine is perfectly aligned. It is perfectly supported. I don't feel points. I feel my whole back is supported, which is the big thing. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and go from park. We'll go ahead and put it in drive, literally just a matter of going back. And if I push down hard on it as on the brake, it does have auto hold, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and head for a drive. And it is super smooth. Now, again, with the bumps, you are going to feel a good amount of the road. Yeah, so just be aware of that. The power isn't super there. That's me kind of flooring it. So there's no whoa kind of feel to it, which is nice though, for drivability, for if it's something you want to have on an everyday vehicle, it's nice. But yeah, maybe in the dual motor configuration would be a little bit better with the little bit more power that you get. But overall though, the feel to it is nice. Like I said, you are going to feel a little bit more of the road, so just be aware of that. But it's in the most rewarding way possible. Let's go ahead and hit a little bit of those fun turns. Before we enter kind of some quick turns, the brakes on this have been incredible. Yeah, you get a ton of feedback on it, and it doesn't feel like a super heavy car. That is the impressive thing with this, that you've been able to just kind of toss it around and, you know, brake when you need to, and it stops. It really stops, and the pedal feel is spectacular. The only thing though is it has the almost, I want to say, inevitable like e-torque powered down, so to speak, where you kind of feel the the motor kind of struggling a little bit to kind of, it has like that kind of that jitter, EV jitter that you get when it's trying to do the traction control. That's kind of the only thing that it happens with something like this when you are trying to break the traction loose on it, or when you give it a little too much. Yeah, right there, it has that little kind of thing to it. So just be aware that that is gonna happen, but you know, the delivery is still smooth though, and like I said, the brakes are so nice to hit on this. Yeah, there you go. It has that little brake. that little hesitation or that kind of, you know, turn to those wheels. But yeah, this has been incredible vehicle to drive. So we'll go ahead and do the 3-point stop as well, and we can see with this really tight narrow road, see if we can go ahead and do it. So it's been pretty good though, as far as what I've experienced with 3-point stops. Again, I wish we had the 360-degree system. Like, why don't we have that? That's the biggest complaint I have with this system. So we'll go ahead and set it up there. And yeah, oh yeah, I've had that on for it. We'll go ahead and just kind of brake boost, I guess, and go. And it's not too bad. So it gives you a little bit of a kick at first, and then it just kind of EV flats out, so to speak. But it's not too bad. Again, where this thing is going to excel is in the handling. I've just been, yeah, there's that little jitter. I've just been surprised at how good this thing handles, how it feeds back, how, you know, the steering wheel is just amazing feel. The brakes have been incredible to get this big guy stopped. No complaints there. Yeah, just there you go. Put the power down and go away. But yeah, overall though, the performance of this has been just one of those, it's a Miata. It really is, where yeah, it's not the fastest, but man, does the feel it, yeah, an EV having feeling, that's what this has. It's incredible that I'm able to say that, because for an EV vehicle, because there's so many that it's a computer, what people call a computer, but not this. This has been incredible, and this has nailed that enthusiast. I don't know if I would want more power. It's kind of hard for me to say that, because I don't know if it will take away the balance, just kind of the fun of what this has been. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the 2024 Polestar 2. And remember, yeah, this has no gears. See ya.